In this video 5.5, we're going to be working with the standard form. By the end of the video and work time in class, you should be able to say, I can write equations in standard form. We've been working with slope-intercept form and point-slope form, and so this is our third form we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking for a y-intercept, which is the y-coordinate of a point where the graph crosses the y-axis. That's your vertical number line. And we're also going to look for the x-intercept. It's the x-coordinate of a point where the graph or where a graph crosses the x-axis. So where it crosses on that horizontal number line. The standard form allows you to find those intercepts really quickly, where it crosses the y and where it crosses the x. The standard form of a linear equation is a times x plus b times y equals c, where a and b and c are real numbers and a and b cannot both be 0. To find the x-intercept, you substitute 0 for y and solve for x. To find the y-intercept, you substitute 0 for x and solve for y. So when you're looking for one of the intercepts, essentially what you do is you put 0 into the opposite one and solve. So if I have 2x plus 6y equals 18, that's standard form, where a is 2, b is 6, c is 18. I want to find the x and the y-intercept. So we'll start with the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, you take the standard form and you replace the y with 0. So it's the opposite that you replace with 0. So I have 2x plus 6 times 0, which is 0, is the same as 18. So x equals 9. So find 9 on the horizontal number line. Put a point there, and that's the intercept. That x equals 9. To find the y-intercept, you just do the opposite, where you take the standard form, but this time you're going to put 0 in for x and solve for y. So on the vertical number line, go up 3, put a point, and that would be the y-intercept. What is the graph of 4x minus 3y equals 12? In this problem, the a is 4, the b is negative 3, and the c is 12. So we're going to start by finding our x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, once again, you plug 0 in for y, solve for x, on the x-axis, I'm going to find 3, and I'm going to put my point right at 3. Then I'm going to look for my y-intercept. So I'm going to replace the x with 0, and then solve for y. So at y equals negative 4, down 4 on the y-axis here. So we started by finding our x. That ended up being at 3, 0. Then we found our y, which is at 0, negative 4. And then you can connect the 2 points, and there's our line. What is the equation, or what is the graph of these equations? X equals negative 1 and y equals 4. For x equals negative 1, whenever you have x equals some number and you don't have a y, this is a vertical line. These are always going to be vertical if it's x equals. And so if x is negative 1, it would be right here. It could be here. It could be here. All of these points on this vertical line, x would be negative 1 for all of these ordered pairs. So x is always going to be negative 1 on this vertical line. That's 1 to the left of that y-axis. So once again, all x equals are vertical. for y equals 4, if you just have y and no x, this is always a horizontal, so think opposite here. So where y, so here's our y, where's y 4? Is right here, but y would be 4 here, y could be 4 here, here, here. So all the points on this horizontal line is where y would be 4. What is y equals negative 3/5 x plus 4 in standard form using integers? So we want our a, b, and c to be integers. So right now we can see, I'm not going to put the parenthesis right here. We've got negative 3/5, which is not an integer, and that's the coefficient of the x. So that's your a. In front of the y right now is a 1, and your c is 4. Now we got to get the a, which is in front of the x there, negative 3/5, over to the left side. But I'm going to do something first. I'm going to get rid of that rational number in front of the x. And by doing so, I'm going to multiply this whole side on the right side of the equal sign by 5, which is our denominator of negative 3/5. Well, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side of an equation. So when we simplify this, we see that we have 5y now on the left side. What happens here when we distribute the 5 to both terms inside the parentheses, what happens here when we do 5 times negative 3/5, we end up getting negative 15 over 5, and we know that negative 15 over 5 gives us 3, or I'm sorry, negative 3. Looks like I'm holding the green here. We get negative 3x. Now that rational number is gone, and then plus 5 times 4, which gives you 20. So what you do is you multiply by what that denominator is to both sides if you want to get rid of it. And then we want to get the a over to the left side. So to get rid of negative 3x, we're going to add 3x to both sides. So then what happens here is we're left with 3x plus 5y equals 20. So now our a would be 3, our b is 5, and the c is 20. So they're all integers, and this would be in standard form. A festival sells ride tickets for $5 each and game tickets for $2 each. You have $50 to spend on tickets at the festival. Write and graph an equation that describes the items you can purchase. It says that you have $50 to spend. We're going to change that to 5. Yeah, we'll keep that at 50. So we're going to write and graph an equation that describes the items you can purchase. What are 3 combinations of game and ride tickets that you can purchase? So we have, let's see, it says it's $5 for ride, it's $2 for ticket. So I'm going to start here. We've got $2 for the game tickets. That's our game tickets. And then we have $5 for the ride tickets, and we know that we have a total to spend that's $50. So here would be the standard form of this for this equation, for this problem. So for x, we're going to put x on the bottom. I'm going to move this over here. We're going to put x here on the bottom. And the x, the blue there, that represented games. So this is games down here. And then the y represents your ride tickets. So that would be rides right here. We're going to find the x-intercept and then the y-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to do 2x plus 5 times 0 is 50. So when I solve for x, x equals 25, and then when I find my y-intercept, 2 times 0 plus 5, y equals 50. When I solve for y, y equals 10. So on my x I need to go over to 25, and on my y I need to go over to 10, or up to 10. So I'm going to make my intervals right now. I'm going to go, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I know that right here at 25 is my x-intercept, and then for my y, I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I know that 10 here is the y-intercept, and so I can connect those points. That would be the line. Oop, should be a straight line here. Okay. And then the next thing here is it said, what are 3 combinations of game and ride tickets that you can purchase? So basically, we're looking for points here. Look at all these points, and you can pick any one of those points. That would be a combination of ride tickets and game tickets you could purchase. So I could purchase, let's say if I'm looking right here, we could purchase 5 game tickets and 8 ride tickets. If you picked this point right here, it would be 15 game tickets and 4 ride tickets. If you picked, let's say, this one right here, it would be 20 game tickets with 2 ride tickets. And so there would be 3 combinations. There's obviously more here, but I just picked 3 of those points. Can you say I can write equations in standard form? Write a summary and reflection and be prepared with any questions for the work time in class.